Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then, I read them dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panel, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Now, if you've been following the Flash comic book series either here or buying it yourself, then you know that when we last left off at the Flash War, things had gotten interesting, and we discovered other forces other than the Speed Force. We discovered the Strength Force, the Sage Force, and the Still Force. Well, ever wonder about those things? You ever want to know more about them? That's what today's all about. The Strength Force. Enjoy. With the Force barrier damaged and the revelation of Strength Force and the Sage Force, Barry sought the help of the only people who would have insight on other forces, the multiversal Flashes. But as he stands in the House of Heroes, none of the Flashes before him know anything other than the Speed Force. No one knows what the Sage Force, Strength Force, and Still Force are. Barry sighs, stating, "Thanks anyway. It's good to see all of you, but I'm gonna go back to my lab and try to figure this out." One Flash says that it's not always about science, you know, and another asks, "Did you ever go on a Force quest?" Barry stops, asking, "What?" Flash says, he can't go on believing something as powerful as the Speed Force is all about him. You should go out there and explore, learn a little bit. Barry tells them, thanks, I'll think about it. If you need me, you know where to find me." And back in the current day Central City, Trickster sits in a room with Detective Burns and Morrow, stating that if Wolf finds out about this, he's dead. Morrow asks, "Why do you think we're hiding you up here? Why are you so jittery?" Trickster then says that he's not sure about this, he's not feeling too good. Maybe they should get him to a nurse or something. Burns tells him, "Look, she knows how small and powerless Wolf made him feel, but they can help him." And Morrow tells him to just relax. The judge will be here any minute and they can drop him back off at Iron Heights. Wolf will never know. Just then a male and a female para-angels shout that they hope Trickster isn't afraid of heights. Burns and Morrow grab their guns and begin firing, but the para-angels shield themselves with their metal wings, shouting, they heard that Trickster was talking too much. The male pulls Trickster out of the window, and then Trickster shouts, asking, "Do you know who's in Central City?" Trickster's fake arm falls off, and the male says, "The Flash may run the streets, but we run the skies." Below, Barry runs up the side of a building, jumping off of it, stating that his mother always told him that he had his head in the clouds. He springs off the building, punching into the male para-angel, and the two begin struggling for control. The woman calls out that if he really wants him, all he has to do is catch him. She then lets go of Trickster, and Barry lands on a nearby building and begins running and leaping off, catching Trickster, asking, "What is this all about, Trickster?" Trickster tells him, "It's top secret, and shouldn't you be more worried about the para-angels getting some air?" A voice tells him that he wouldn't worry about the air. It's all about getting chilly. Commander Cold flies by, pointing his cold gun at the para-angels and fires, freezing them mid-flight. Barry shouts, "You've got to be kidding me!" And then he begins to run to the edge to create a whirlwind to catch the para-angels and safely put them back on the roof. Barry yells, "You could have killed them!" And Cole tells him that it was a nano-ice blast. They would have defrosted when I hit the switch. But while the two of them are distracted, Trickster uses his air-walking shoes to run down into the alleyway, and as he gets on the ground, he stumbles, stating, "I still feel weird. And the phantom pain on my arm? I haven't felt that in years." Just then, the ground begins to tear apart, and Trickster can feel himself being pulled down. He tries to grab onto something, screaming for help, but as whatever it is pulls him down, his cries go unheard. A short while later, back on the rooftops, Barry runs up to Commander Cole, telling him, "Great, your action caused us to lose Trickster." Cole tells him, "Look, I figure since I'm stuck here, I might as well lend a hand. Times are changing." Barry tells him, "No, this is my city. Things don't change in Central City. You can look for the forces all you want, but stay out of my way." Later that night, back at home, Barry goes through Trickster's file, stating that there's gotta be a place that he would always return to. Just need to keep Commander Cold away. Iris tells him that she knows that him being stuck here is his fault, right? Maybe he should just work with the time-displaced Commander Cold. They don't want him to become a villain again. Barry asks, "Are you worried? Is there anything that you remember from before about the new forces?" Iris thinks about it and says that she's not sure. Her memories are a bit weird. Some things fade in and out while others are stronger, but Iris remembers the other timeline in which they got married, and Barry asks, "Like what?" And Iris trails off, stating something else. Just then, Barry's phone goes off, and Barry says that it's Cold. He thinks he's found Trickster. He runs out of the house, but then runs back, giving Iris a kiss, and then back out again. As he reaches the location that Cold sent him, Cold says that he's surprised he actually came. "Any lectures planned?" Barry tells him no, he actually came to listen to him. Cold laughs, telling him, "Well, my scans show that Trickster went missing right around this spot and..." But before he could finish, the ground rumbles as a hand punches up, breaking apart the pavement. A figure begins to crawl out, and a voice asks, "What's happening?" "I feel, whoa!" Cold tells him, "I think we may have just found the Strength Force," and Barry asks if the giant hulking monster is Trickster? He punches Barry into the ground, and then he grips the gravel arm, telling everyone, "Central City saw me as a joke, but now they're all gonna pay for laughing at me." A few minutes pass, and as Commander Cold gets back up, he says that he hasn't been hit that hard since Gorilla Ghost sucker punched him in front of the House of Secrets. Barry helps him up, stating, "You might have a concussion." And Cold brushes him off, telling him, "I'm fine, and I don't like the idea of moving at super speed to the hospital. Besides, we have bigger things to worry about than a few bumps and bruises. Back when I was an agent at the temporal courts, Trickster never turned into this." The two look at the hole in the ground, and Barry asks, "Was the Trickster buried alive?" Cole tells him, "Well, the speed force struck you from above. Maybe the strength force comes from below. Scans show that the force is still in flux. After you and Wally broke the force barrier, you turned Central City into a petri dish for these new forces. It's probably trying to find a proper host." Meanwhile, downtown, Trickster smashes another police car, shouting, "Trickster Rex in the house!" Barry and Cold speed through the city, following Trickster's destruction, but while Iris goes to the library to try and find out more about the other forces, there's a loud crashing noise. She looks back to see the Flash thrown through the window. As Barry hits the bookshelves, he sees Iris and asks, "Where's the science section?" He gets up, goes back to the window, and Iris says, "My keen investigation skills tell me that Trickster found the strength force before you did, didn't he?" Trickster then yells, "I gotta be like the strongest guy in the world, right? I gotta be!" Commander Cold runs up with his gun, trying to freeze Trickster, telling him, "It's time for you to chill out." But Trickster grabs him, telling him, "I thought you were Snart, but Snart doesn't make puns." Flash runs down, punching into Trickster, and Trickster laughs, telling him, "Thanks for the massage, bro!" And then he grabs him too. As Trickster begins to squeeze down on the Flash, he begins to vibrate out of his grip, and he shouts, "We're here to help you!" Trickster looks at his hand, stating, "What the hell, bro? You cheated! That hurt!" He grabs a car to throw, but before he can, he falls to his knees, shouting, "Something's wrong, bro!" Cold tells him, "It looks like the vibrational frequency must have thrown his body's connection to the strength force off. We need to take him out while we can." Barry tells him, "No. He's just a kid. Can't you use any of that fancy future tech to see what's going wrong?" Commander Cole begins to scan Trickster, telling him the strength force is surging inside of him. The power is too much for his body. It's breaking down under his own weight. If we're gonna help out this criminal, we're gonna need to find a place that can contain him. Trickster struggles and says, "I know a safe place, bro." A short while later, over at Iron Heights, Kristen looks through Trickster's files, stating that all of Wolf's personal files on him have been deleted. Did Wolf know that he was going to report him? Just then, Wolf asks Kristen what she's doing, and she tells him after the Flash totally screwed things up, she wanted to find clues that can help them. Could be possible that the Flash is the one hiding Trickster, and Wolf says, "I doubt it. Why would the Flash ever dare work with?" But that's when he's stopped by a guard yelling, "They got him! It's the Trickster, and the Flash brought him in." As Flash and Cold walk through the doors of the prison with Trickster, Trickster whispers to Barry, "No matter what, you can't leave me alone with Wolf, bro." Wolf walks out, stating that it looks like someone's on the juice. "And why is Snart here?" Barry runs up, stating, "I need Commander Cold's help for running tests on Trickster, and Trickster isn't leaving my sight." Wolf then asks, "Why exactly would I allow you to observe one of my inmates? What's in it for me?" Barry asks, "What do you want?" And Wolf smiles. Later, inside of a containment tube, the Flash asks him, "Are you happy now?" And Wolf tells him, "It's like Christmas morning. I wanted to test my new anti-speedster cells on an expert." You're surrounded by a special glass that gives off a harmonic frequency so chaotic that if you try to vibrate through it, it will skin you down to the bone. As Commander Cold begins to work on the computer, Wolf asks, "Where exactly are you from? Where is home?" Cold tells him, "Don't worry, no one knows who you are where I'm from." Cold then calls out, "All right, Trickster, a giant punching bag is coming in. I'm giving you 3 guesses what I need you to do with it." The bag goes into the cell, and as he punches it, Cold looks at the computer, stating, "Holy, his strength is off the charts. He's getting heavier. The strength force must be based around gravity and the force of motion. His mass is increasing and creating his own gravitational field, but it's unstable. The speed force bonded with the Flash, but it's not doing that with the Trickster. Best guess, it's rejecting him. It's gonna kill him or it's gonna explode." The Flash asks, "Wait, it's not permanent? That means we can still help him. We just need to find a way to transfer that energy to..." Cole tells him, "Is this guy really worth the risk? He might be better suited being put down." Kristen tells him, "No, the Flash is right." Just then the computer beeps and Cold says, "Oh no, it's do or die time. The strength force is..." Trickster begins to scream out in his cell as his muscles begin to expand. And Cold says, "I'm sorry, we're running out of options here." Barry begins to beat on the anti-speed force cell, shouting, "Let me out!" And the ground begins to rip apart underneath the Trickster, but it also ends up pulling Barry Allen into it. After a flash of light, Barry leans up, looking at his body, as it's now grown to the size of Trickster's because he's now inhabiting the strength force. The Trickster tackles into Barry, shouting, "You lied, bro! You just wanted to steal the spotlight!" The Flash tries to tell him, "That's not it!" And while the two of them struggle, Cold says, "I'm sorry, but there's only one way we're gonna stop the strength force, and that's by killing the both of you." Cold fires a shot off, narrowly missing Barry's chest. And then Cold calls out that he saw the readings. The strength force is too dangerous, especially now that you're infected. Barry shouts that Trickster doesn't deserve to die because of his past mistakes. He's just a kid. Hearing that, Trickster yells, "I am not a kid!" He charges at Barry, pinning him to the wall, but as they do, Wolf tells Cold that this is his chance. "Kill him! Pull the trigger!" Trickster turns back and Barry says, "There's still time to save the Trickster!" And then he punches the ground, throwing everyone off their balance. He steps back, looking at his fist, stating, "Whoa! This must be how Superman feels." Cold gets back up, stating, "Whatever you're thinking, I can't let you do it." And Barry tells him, "Wait!" Trickster's weight increased the stronger he was getting because of the manipulation of the gravitational field around him. But when I vibrated, so Barry begins to vibrate in place, and he slowly reduces his own size while retaining the strength. Barry says, "See? It can be controlled. All the strength force needs is an outlet, and we can do the same for Trickster." Cold sighs, stating, "I really hate science." Elsewhere in the prison, Wolf gets back up, and Trickster finds him, telling him, "You may have been the big bad wolf, but you won't ever blow me down again, bro!" As Trickster smashes the ground next to Wolf, Barry runs in, tackling him out into the sea. The two punch back and forth, but without his full size, Barry is knocked back into the prison. They both go back and forth, fighting for power, and as they clash, the Flash asks what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. Just then, an explosion goes off in the center of the prison, and Barry gets up in his original form, asking, "Where did Trickster go?" Trickster calls out, holding up the entire building. "Over here! You got me pretty good! My bodacious bod is going bye-bye. Do me a favor, get my friends out of here before the house comes down." Barry tells him, "No, we can think of a way, Trickster." But Trickster shouts, "You keep saying you want to help, then help by saving my friends. The only family I got. Please, Flash." As Barry starts to run around getting everyone out, Trickster struggles to keep the weight of the building from falling as his body is slowly reverting back to its normal form. Once the final rogue is out of the prison, Barry runs back trying to grab Trickster. The debris falls, crushing him. He begins to remove the rocks, calling out the Trickster, and what he finds is the gravel arm broken off. As the sun comes up, Commander Cold scans the prison, stating that Central City has become the epicenter for the new forces, and it's playing havoc with his scanners. But Iron Heights is free of the strength force. If it found a new host, he or she is going to be out there in the world. Barry asks him, "What about the Trickster?" And Cold tells him, "Nothing. I tapped into some satellites over Central City, but I didn't pick up any traces of him. Also, we didn't find a body." Barry then shouts, "I've had enough of this! All of this stuff happened because of what you did, Commander Cold. This isn't the 25th century. Your ways are not going to fly here." Cold asks him, "Are you calling me reckless? I'm stuck in the Stone Age because you and Wally wanted to race. All I want to do is go back home and see if the people that I love are still alive. My very presence here means the future has already changed. The world that I love is gone. I can never go back, Flash. You're gonna need to get over yourself and get ready for what's about to come." Cold speeds off on his hover bike, and Iris asks, she thought that they were supposed to be working together. Barry looks back, asking, "What are you doing here?" And Iris says, "Covered a story. Flash fought Trickster and Wolf's guards, and there's a man dressed like Captain Cold. What even is his real name? We know he's from the future, but Commander Cold would be a weird real name." Barry brushes her off, stating that he needs to get back to work, and he'd rather not talk about any of this. Iris grabs him, stating, "Yeah, but I do." And Barry tells her, "Oh yeah? What about you then? Let's talk about what you're hiding. You're not the only one in this relationship who can pick up on clues. I know you're not telling me something from your past life. Why? What is so bad that you would hide it from me, Iris?" Iris thinks back to the wedding memories that she had and says that it's nothing. Barry heads back into the prison, stating, "Fine, don't tell me. I'll see you at home when I get off of work." Meanwhile, elsewhere, Trickster looks around and finds himself in an abandoned building covered in dust. He asks, "Where am I? Is this some kind of trick?" A shadowy hand reaches out, stating, "It ain't your time just yet. If you had just let the para-angels bring you here from the start, we could have avoided all of this, but it's okay. It's all about the long con, you know. Come on, let James Jesse lend you a hand. Pun intended." And there you have it. We have a little bit more information on the Strength Force. And oh, that's pretty cool, isn't it? I personally really enjoyed the Strength Force storyline. And if you go check out your local comic book store, you can find the current storyline going on, which we haven't officially said what it is at the time of recording this video, but I believe it's the Sage Force. Either way, more forces are happening in the world of the Flash. And personally, I like what Joshua Williamson is doing by having a Sage, Strength, Still, and Speed Force. Kind of makes more sense than just having a really fast force. Either way, the Flash new season has started up, or at least it is going to be tonight. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought about that season premiere. And don't forget, subscribe to our channel to keep up to date on all good things Flash, because we love the Flash here. Literally, I got a tattoo. It's the Flash. It's also Green Lantern and Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman. Aquaman wasn't cool when I got the tattoo. I'm sorry, Aquaman, but now you look really awesome with Jason Momoa. Who here likes Jason Momoa? I got like a man crush on that dude. He's awesome. Him and The Rock. Yeah! Oh! I'll see you guys! Strike Force!